I moved into a brand new market in 2010, and within 7 years became the #1 agent. And I think video was an essential and important part of that. Video is one of those things that after you make it and make that investment, it continues to have legs for days, years to come. It continues to play. And when people see you in live video, it's a level of expertise, and it shows that you're working more than static advertisements. I'm all in on video. I believe it's the absolute future of media and advertising. And while a lot of agents are tiptoeing into it, doing a few amateur videos, doing a video walkthrough where a guy does a couple pans of different rooms and a few live action shots, it's not the same. So I'm going to answer two questions. One, how do you choose the right videographer? And two, how do you make your videos unique from a scripting perspective? One, how you choose the right videographer. One, you got to get lucky. But two, you got to invest. Video is not something that's to be done at a $300 house type of thing. And if that's what you're going to invest, you're going to be like everybody else. And everybody's going to quickly catch you because everyone knows that video is the thing to do right now. Everyone's going to tiptoe and make the basic investment. Step out ahead of the industry, invest the money, work with a true production company. I'm not sure if you guys will have links to my videos, but what you'll see is that in most of the videos, it's me. It's not a video walk through the home without me there. I'm mic'd up. It's scripted. I'm talking and giving perspective of the home, and this costs money. And if you don't spend it, you're just gonna fall by the wayside. So invest that money. I do it on homes, even though I know I have an offer coming in. I don't need to spend money on that house. If it's a great home, I want that video done and out there, regardless if it's sold or not. Make that investment. Set aside that $1,000 per house, and a lot of people are going to cringe on that. But set aside that money now. Spend it, whether the house sells or it doesn't, or is pre-sold. Doesn't matter. You need, the house is your stage. It's your opportunity to tell the industry, tell the public, what you know. And there's no better way of doing that than using it as your stage, and you put on your performance. Don't be fake, but do it. So now, choosing the right videographer. You've got to get someone that understands real estate. Real estate's a whole different animal than other types of things. But what you also need to be careful of is people that are used to doing TV commercials and longer segments, things like that for TV, just because they look at it from a different animal, and they usually can't turn and burn videos quickly enough. They'll get caught up into all the different lighting setups and things like that that'll turn that $1,000 video into a $3,000 video, but more importantly, it'll turn it from a 2-day edit to a 2-week edit, and that's killer. When you hire a videographer, you got to make sure they have the ability to do it right. If they're going to walk through and just follow you with a digital SLR and they don't have gyroscopes and stabilizers and pans, they're not the right people. You can't make someone into a professional videographer. You got to get some creative marketing company that knows how to do this and turn around and process it. Often I fly my videographers in from out of state. I know that sounds crazy, but here we are, we're leading market. So just do it. Get a good videographer company. The one I use, I can't speak highly enough, is Outlaw Partners. They're based out of Montana. They're doing really cool stuff. Everything from PBR, professional bull riding, to highball energy. They're creative, they're great, and they're also working with L&K Real Estate, which is a leading real estate firm in Montana that sells $10 and $20 million homes. And when I can gain that expertise where, that videographer just walked out of a $20 million house and I'm selling a $750,000 one, they're bringing that same level of expertise and production, and I'm carbon copying what they're doing. So Outlaw Partners is who I use. How to make your videos unique from a scripting perspective. Don't have a script. I know that sounds crazy, but what you do is you got to create bullet points. I found that people get so caught up in memorizing scripts, they look like a robot, they're sweaty, they're nervous. My first videos were like that, and they look like crap. They just do. So what I do is I add a personal element. It's not because I want to be the star. I want the house to be the star, But unless someone's telling the story, it falls by the wayside. You know, when you're looking through hundreds of videos or hundreds of houses online, it just kind of all blends together, right? This one's 2,200 square feet. This one's 2,600 square feet. This is a 3-bed, 2.5 bath. This one's a 3-bed, 3.5 bath, blah, blah, blah. People don't buy per square foot. They don't buy bedroom, bathroom counts. They buy a story. They buy a solution to their problems. They buy a house that has a place for their kids, has a future place for when their parent gets old and disabled and needs to live with them. So you've got to tell that story. And body language and connection to the buyer can do a million things that, you know, a 1,000-word script cannot. So what I generally do is I introduce my house. I'm out front. I welcome people to it. And I set the stage. So what I do is I have 2 or 3 bullet points of kind of where the house is. You know, I often don't do price because that can change, but where the house is and some of the general attributes, and then I welcome them to come discover this home for themselves. Then I go inside, and then I go over a few bullet points: quality of craftsmanship, layout, etc. But I always make sure that there's an area where I can authentically connect and put that house in perspective and say, I have the opportunity to see a lot of great homes in a market. This one stands apart because this one excites me because. And when you do that personal connection from your, you know, podium of expertise, it makes a personal connection with that buyer. And I often find people coming into my houses with or without agents and saying, I'm here to look at 12 houses, but this is the one I'm most excited about, and everything gets to compare to that. So when you have that good video production where you've told the story, you've authentically connected to the client with, all of a sudden it becomes the centerpiece which everything else is compared against. Whether it's the right house for them or not, everything is compared to that. And when they go home after a day of looking at 20 homes and their head spinning, it all blurs together. But when they watch that video, they can have a perfect image of what that house was like, and you're telling the story, and they remember why they liked it so much. And that's the video they send to their friends and their family and kids and parents and whatever. And I have a much higher conversion rate on number of showings to offers than the market. I think the market in general here averages probably 30 to 40 showings per offer. I'm 15, 20. And I think video is at the core of that. So in synopsis, hire a videographer that has the skills. Don't be afraid to spend the right amount of money, but don't get caught up in a production company that wants to make it so perfect that it doesn't get out in real time. If you miss the market by a week with video, you're going to lose the market. So Outlaw Partners is a good website to go see what they can do. L&K is another good example of that. And then I've got a lot of these videos on the Ben Property Source website as well. Second question, scripting, create bullet points. Don't ever talk about more than 3 points at a time. Introduce the house, give it some perspective, welcome them to discover it themselves, go inside the house, talk about the main 2 or 3 main features of the great room, 2 or 3 main features of the master suite. I mean, that's how people buy. They buy master suites and great room kitchens, right? And then give it some closing perspective, and then allow the video to have enough room to breathe. Don't be talking the whole time like I'm doing to you right now. It's probably starting to bother you and bore you, and the same happens in real estate videos. So anyways, appreciate your time, and good luck with video. Go for it. Go all in. Do it right.